Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It is Christian here. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I am super excited because today I'm going to be bringing you what I hope to be a new series on my channel, and I'm going to be calling it Foundation Friday. And this is basically where on Fridays I'm going to test out new foundations for you guys, and it doesn't necessarily have to be new foundations that are just brand new to the market. It can be a new foundation for me or recommendations that you guys have that you want me to try out. But today we're going to be trying out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. This is new to the market. It is a hot new product. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's raving about it. So I thought today, to kick off the new series, Foundation Friday, that this would be the perfect foundation to go ahead and test out for you guys. If you guys like the idea of this video, please give it a thumbs up so that way I can know to continue doing it, or let me know down below how you feel about it. Because if you guys aren't interested in it, I don't want to keep doing it. But I'm super excited about this because, like, as you guys know, foundations are my favorite makeup item. They're my favorite thing to try. I love testing them, I love playing with them, and I have very high standards when it comes to foundation because I've got a lot happening with my skin. But yeah guys, we're just gonna go ahead and get into the video. But before we do that, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you don't mind, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below before you head out. And if you are not new to my channel, you guys, welcome back. Thank you for continuing to support and join me. And yeah guys, let's just go ahead and test out the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. All right guys, so we're gonna be testing out for my first Foundation Friday. We're gonna be testing out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation, and I picked mine up in the shade Beige. Hopefully the shade Beige works for me because I ordered it online, and I never order foundations online because I don't actually know my color. So especially because I have so many different so hopefully this color will work. So really quickly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the product, and then we are going to start applying it on my face, and we're going to test it throughout the day. And you guys know I love testing out foundations. I love trying foundations. So with this new series, we're hopefully going to find some really great foundations for me and hopefully give you guys some really good recommendations. But really quickly, I kind of want to tell you about my skin type. So I have very sensitive skin. It's very, very sensitive. It doesn't take a lot to break me out. It doesn't take a lot for my skin to get irritated. So I do have sensitive skin. I do, as you guys can tell, have a little bit of acne prone skin. And it's mostly on this side of my face for some strange reason. I don't know why. I don't really get too many breakouts on this side of my face, but this side of my face is just very acne prone. Strange. I have a lot of redness in my skin around my cheeks and around my chin, and a lot of discoloration on my forehead. So I am always after a very full coverage foundation because I've got a lot to hide. They're not the biggest pores in the world, but I do have larger pores in this. I do have some pores in this area that I do like to cover up. I do have dry skin, but lately it's becoming a little bit more dry combination. So whereas 6 months ago, I could not wear a matte foundation to save my life, now if I prep my skin properly and put really nice hydrating bases on, I can get away with a matte foundation a little bit more. My dry skin is normally around my nose, which is really weird because my cheeks are what are producing oil lately. My chin is very dry, and then I get very dry. I just got a lot going on. So obviously I'm very picky about my foundations because I have a lot that I want to cover. I have sensitive skin, I have problematic skin. So what works for me may not work for you. What I'm looking for may not be what you're looking for. So just keep that in mind. So hopefully we just find some really awesome foundations. But today we're trying out the new Anastasia Stick Foundation. So I'm quickly going to read what it says off of Sephora's website about this particular foundation, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to try it out. So it does come in 23 different shades, and it has a mixture of undertones for everyone. So it has a good variety for light skin tones all the way to deeper skin tones. So I feel confident that a lot of people will be able to find their perfect match in this foundation, which is really awesome. Another really cool thing about this foundation is that it is only 25 bucks. Most other stick foundations, like I have the Makeup Forever stick foundation, that was in the 40s. I have the Hourglass foundation, that was like 46 bucks, the stick foundation. I have the Bobbi Brown stick foundation, which I just do not like, personally. So I'm really excited to try this one out. It's in the middle of the road as far as prices. Not as expensive as some of the other stick foundations, but it's obviously more expensive than the drugstore foundation. So this is a good middle of the road product. It comes with 0.35 fluid ounces. And one thing to keep in mind, stick foundations always come with less product. The Hourglass foundation only has like 0.25, which hurts my soul every single time I put that foundation on, but it's a beautiful foundation. So stick foundations always have less product, so just always keep that in mind when purchasing a stick foundation. The average cream foundation or liquid foundation usually has standard 1 ounce. These bad boys never do. Okay, so really quickly, I'm gonna tell you what it says. It is a multitasking medium to full coverage foundation. It says that it is highly pigmented, buildable cream stick foundation that creates a natural looking matte finish. It says that it is ideal for all skin tones and combination to oily skin types. It is easy to layer and deliver medium to full coverage with a smooth finish. Let's see, it says it's perfect for all over coverage, touch-ups, and even for highlighting and contouring. Had I been thinking, I wish I had gotten some different shades so we could test it out for highlighting and contouring, but I didn't. I just got what I hope to be my actual foundation shade. And again, I picked it up in the shade beige. And beige basically says it's for light skin with neutral undertones. Foundations, I usually am the fourth, I'd say the third to the fourth lightest shade in the range. So I usually kind of start there and then work my way back or up if I need to. Really nice sleek packaging. It has the Anastasia logo. It's black with like gold trimmings, and then it just says Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's very sleek and simple and to the point. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit and we're gonna attempt to apply it. My face is already primed and moisturized. I use the Laura Mercier hydrating primer with my pore minimizing primer by Makeup Forever. On one half of my face we're gonna go in with the Morphe M439, and then on the other half we're gonna try a beauty sponge and we're gonna see what happens. Let me get my dirty AF mirror over here. And then I'm just gonna okay. We're gonna take my Morphe M439 and then we're just gonna, I'm patting it into place. I'm patting it, basically trying to fill my pores. So I'm kind of patting it and then I'm slightly kind of like buffing the foundation or the product out. It's a pretty decent match. And as you guys know, whenever I try a foundation for the first time, I don't like to apply any color correctors because I like to see what the foundation is going to do on its own. My blemishes are still visible. It did a pretty decent job of canceling out some of my redness, but you can still see it a little bit around my cheek area. And I'm basically just pressing it into the skin and buffing it out. It did not cover up my redness completely. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and wet my beauty blender because I totally forgot to do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've got my damp beauty blender sponge, and now I'm gonna go ahead and start blending it out or working it in on this side of my face. I never like foundations with a sponge. I always prefer putting them on with a brush and then kind of blending them out with a beauty blender, but we're gonna do it anyway. A lot less coverage with the sponge versus the beauty blender. What? That's the same thing. A lot less coverage with the beauty blender versus a brush. So we already know that I am not here for this brush with the beauty blender. Beauty blender just kind of, you can really see the beauty blender didn't really do much of anything. So we're gonna go ahead and stop that process. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit more. And by a little, I mean a lot. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and finish blending it out with the brush. This definitely gives a solid medium coverage right out of the gate. I don't really feel it on my skin at all. It blended in really nicely. Actually, I am noticing a little bit of clinging to my dry patches around my nose. Not the end of the world. I can hopefully try to smooth that out with the beauty blender. I'm gonna go in just a little bit more on my more troublesome areas. So right here, I'm gonna put a little foundation there. I'm gonna put one more swipe right there, one more swipe right there, a little bit right there where my redness is. To blend it down the neck where I do get a little bit of acne, I'm gonna apply a little bit right there. guys, and this is what we look like with 2 layers on. I would definitely say it is a medium coverage foundation, but it's like a full medium coverage foundation. I wouldn't give it a full medium coverage because like the, say for example, like the Urban Decay is like full coverage. That covers everything. You can still see here, I do have some redness peeking through from my breakouts. So I would say that it's like a heavy medium. So it's dancing on the verge of full coverage, but it's not quite there. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish all of my makeup off camera, or the rest of my face makeup off camera, and then I will be back. All right guys, and I am back. Full face of makeup is completely done at this point. So far it is 1:17. I probably sat down and started filming at about 12:45. So far so good. It is, I feel it a little bit more on my skin now than I did now that all of the other layers of my makeup are on. It's not like horrible. It still looks good on the skin. All like my highlight, my blush, and my bronzer blended really nicely over top of it. I feel like now though it might be looking a little bit lighter than my chest, or I don't know if that's just because my chest is really red right now, but it does, on camera it does appear to be a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna have to test that out in natural light to see if it's just my cameras that are washing me out, or if this shade is actually just a little bit too light for me. I do think that it looks really nice on the skin. I think it's definitely, I wouldn't say like a natural finish. You can definitely tell that I have makeup on, but that's because, I mean, I've got like 80 layers of blush on, let's be real, and a ton of highlight. So it's not one of those, you just have such beautiful, natural, glowing skin. No. You can definitely feel that, you can definitely tell that I have makeup on. However, it's not like how a lot of matte foundations tend to make you look very flat and just very like washed out. I felt like this one didn't really do that. I felt like it's still, like my natural skin still did peek through slightly, like my natural redness, and which is a good thing, I guess, because you want to look real. You don't want to look super made up and fake unless that's the look you're going for, because sometimes that is definitely the look I'm going for. But with the full coverage foundation, I definitely want everything to be kind of masked, everything to kind of be evened out, and I think that overall it did a pretty decent job. There are parts of my skin that are just redder than others. That really takes a really heavy duty concealer, a really heavy duty foundation to cover it right out of the gate. I like the way my makeup looks. I do like the way my makeup looks. I think that it does look really pretty right now, and I'm excited to see how it wears throughout the day. It definitely is a matte finish foundation. It does feel matte on the skin 100% for sure. It doesn't, so I'm not really big on super matte foundations that a little tight, and I do feel like my skin does feel a little bit tight right now, like, so it definitely is matte. But overall, I'm pleased with the way it looks. I think that it is an awesome price point. I'm gonna go hang out with my sister and my nieces for a couple of hours, and then I will be back with an update to let you guys know how I feel. To kind of help your sister out a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and I already put a finishing spray on, but just to kind of make it feel a little bit less matte, I'm gonna go in with the Pure Hydrate and Set and just kind of hopefully bring a little bit of hydration back into my skin. All right guys, and I will see you in a couple of hours. All right guys, so welcome back. It is currently, I don't know if you guys can, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is currently, nope, you probably can't, okay. All right guys, so it is currently 6:43. So this is my first check-in, and I would like to say that the foundation is holding up pretty nicely. Me and my sister and my nieces were in Pearland today, and if you guys don't know, Pearland is pretty much an outdoor shopping center. And it's hot, and I feel like the makeup has lasted pretty nicely. It has stayed on the skin pretty nicely. Don't mind my dirty mirror. My mom is always talking about my dirty mirror and how I need to clean my dirty mirror, but I don't, so just let me and my dirty mirror live, okay? So, I mean, my pores are not as concealed as I would like them to be. It's starting to peek through. So it's starting to peek through my redness a little bit more. It's a little bit visible. It did kind of cling to the dry patches right here, but I don't like doing any types of touch-ups before I come on camera. So if I'm an oil slick, then you guys can see that. If stuff is not looking good, I want you guys to be able to see all of that. Overall, the thing that there's a little bit of shininess happening right here, but overall, you guys, overall I am impressed with the foundation. I do wish it was a little bit more full coverage for me. I did not really test it out as far as trying to build it up to see if I could have built it up any further. I kind of stopped at 2 layers. I feel like if I had tried a little bit harder, I probably could have gotten maybe a little bit fuller coverage out of it. but I don't want to put too, I mean, I already slap it on, let's be serious. I have so much makeup on my face as it is, you guys. I don't want to go in with layer after layer after layer after layer, because then that's when things can start to get really, really cakey. So I feel like I probably might have been able to conceal this area a little bit more. Overall, I do like the foundation so far. It is not it's not my favorite foundation that I have tried out. I definitely think that if you have oily skin, you will probably like it. I think with dry skin, you would have to go in with a super hydrating primer to make it work, because it did feel super tight, and it did kind of feel like all of the moisture that was in my face when I first applied this foundation kind of had gotten sucked out. I'm gonna try to do one more check-in before the day is over, and I will check back in with you in a couple of hours, you guys. All right, guys, and I am back. It is about 9 o'clock, and I've had the foundation on for, I'd say, about a solid 8 hours. And I would like to say that as far as stick foundations are concerned, I am pretty impressed with this particular foundation. I have tried the Hourglass foundation recently, the stick foundation, and I do like that one more, but I do not like the price tag of that one at all. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, the Anastasia one actually comes with more product than the Hourglass one as well. So I think that this overall is a really good stick foundation. Stick foundations typically are not dry skin friendly. The pros of this foundation is that it does last a pretty decent amount of time. I was out in the heat today. I was, like I said earlier, I was around shopping in Pearland and stuff like that. So, which is out, like I said, an outside shopping center. So the fact that it held up to that is really nice. Nothing is like breaking apart on my face. Nothing is moving around, which is also another awesome benefit to this foundation. It is sinking into my fine lines slightly, but I have very deep expression lines around my mouth, so most foundations do sink into there. Some just look better than others, and this one actually looks pretty decent. It did not crease inside of my my forehead line too much. It did not bunch up, because I have very dry skin around my hairline of my forehead, which is the weirdest thing ever, but I do. It did not bunch up and peel and get all dry and flaky looking up there. Another place where I tend to get really dry skin is around my chin area, and it's usually like directly underneath my lip and on the sides of my mouth. Nothing looks too crazy there. So I think that the foundation held up really well. I think that it accentuated my pores a little bit more than I would have liked. And I did my normal priming routine, so I think that it did accentuate those just a little bit more, but it's not the end of the world. So all in all, especially for the price of this foundation, you guys, I think that it is really good. I think that stick foundations are just convenient and easy. Like, if you needed to touch up, I feel like you could have just as easily touched up with this, no problem. Like I said, it definitely is a matte finish. So if you have dry skin, like, you probably might not like this, because upon original application, it did feel very drying on my skin. The more I wore it, the more it almost like loosened up and the better it felt on my skin. So I definitely think this foundation performs a little bit better over time. So I think it's a good one, you guys. I definitely give it 2 thumbs up. The price, again, you just cannot beat the price for this, especially for a more high-end brand. I do think, so a con of mine, anytime a foundation claims to be full coverage, I definitely want it to be full coverage. But this one, I guess, claimed to be medium full, so I'll let it slide. So with some heavy concealer, again, it hasn't moved around much since the last time I checked in. So you can kind of see my acne scars, or you can kind of see my active breakouts a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So all in all, I give it 2 thumbs up. I actually did like it. I actually think that it is a really good undertone for my skin as well. Yeah, guys, so I really hope that you enjoyed my first installment of Foundation Friday. Bring this video to a close. Before we do, I'm going to go ahead and ask that you guys do 3 things for me. The first one being giving this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. The second one being going ahead and leave all of your foundation recommendations down below, foundations that you guys want me to try out. If you see one that somebody else already posted, just give that one a thumbs up, so that way the more thumbs up something has, the more I can know to get to that one sooner. And the third thing is, if you are not subscribed to my channel, you guys, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Subscribing to my channel just ensures that you do not miss any future upcoming videos. I do post every Sunday and every Thursday, and let's back it up. So now I'm going to be posting hopefully 3 videos a week, every Sunday, every Wednesday, and every Friday. So yeah, guys, until I see you next time, y'all be safe out there. Bye.